conversation we were going to have, and we can still have it, about James Harden, is about his scoring capacity and the comparison to Jordan. Now, I'm going to let you continue because you're Tim Legler.
Yeah.
But I do think the 11 for 38 and the 24 free throws makes it an interesting night to have this conversation. The floor is yours.
Right, so the conversation first began. We were going to make this comparison because that was what was said the other day about him, the greatest natural scorer since Michael Jordan. I say I agree with it, okay? But, you know, some late game stuff tonight, definitely questionable. But just in terms of that conversation, you know, why is this guy so hard to defend? And it's stuff like this. So you start getting guys rocking, and when you get a guy like this where you got, you know, your core back, but your feet up, I mean, you got all kinds of balance issues right now. Right, and the reason is because you have to stay somewhat forward because you know what he wants to do typically is drive you in here and separate for that step back three. But what makes him so special is when he reads that you're too far forward and your weight is off, he's going to turn a corner right here. And Scott, you know, he doesn't need a lot of space, but this is what makes him so special. You've got an entire back line of your defense just staring at him, and they still can't get there in time because he's quick enough, strong enough to get there and finish. And when you know he wants to take, you know, 12 to 15 step-back threes a game, how are you supposed to stop that? And you want to know what a difference Russell Westbrook makes to your team in terms of a scorer like Harden? We didn't see James Harden run this fast when Chris Paul was playing with him. I'm sorry, we just didn't. He knows now this ball is going to be pushed at a dramatic pace. So he's going to run into this. But in the past, you know, he was doing something where he'd wait, and now he'd want this guy to close out, and then he'd say, okay, get out, and I'm going to just go ahead and operate one-on-one in this area of the floor. This is a catch-and-shoot three, and this is what makes a guy like this so special. So why do you say he's in a category as the best scorer since Jordan? It's because of all of the different ways he does it. Nobody can put the ball in a basket and control a game that way, the way Jordan could. Kobe maybe in that class a little bit. I think Harden's even on a different level than that.
We agree. And yet, what's fascinating about him is you can have that conversation acknowledging that, right? And then say, he was 11 of 38, 4 of 20 from three, and got 24 of them at the line, which is why he is such a polarizing conversation. With the people, even the people that acknowledge his greatness say he's tough to watch, or some of them do. What do you make of that part of the Harden conversation? Do you at least get it?
Yeah, totally. I'll be honest with you. It's a tough watch for me a lot of nights. As a guy that likes to see ball movement and cutting and flow and rhythm to it, it's hard to watch the way that they play. Other than it's fascinating to see what numbers he's going to put up tonight. I think the takeaway from tonight was the last 6 minutes of the game, though, where you go, okay, is it going to be some of these late game situations we're going to run into again in the postseason and why this team will flame out? Westbrook was never a great late game decision maker in Oklahoma City. And now he's paired up with James Harden, and tonight, you know, those 4 or 5 step-back threes those two guys take with a 10, 15-point lead in the fourth quarter allowed San Antonio back in the game. So, to me, that was the takeaway from tonight. No matter what the numbers look like or how gaudy or how eye-popping it can be at times to look at that box score, it's what will it be when you have to get it in a playoff series when it's 2-2 and these big moments come, because we know what that has looked like the last few years.
I think everything that Harden was on display tonight. I always say genius because he's an offensive genius. The talent, the strength, the ability. 4 of 20, 24 free throws, and then late, is he going to get the foul call or didn't he? And he didn't in the end, and that lets the people that hate him rejoice, and the people that love him can you know, get on Twitter.
And they're both right. Both sides of the argument
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Thank you. That's where we will land. Both things can be true.